Welcome everyone to today's episode of Crypto News Alerts. In today's show, Bitcoin falls below $18,000 after the Federal Reserve announces a 50 BPS rate hike. I'll be breaking down the latest technical analysis. Also in today's show, pro-XRP lawyer forecasts the end of the Ripple lawsuit as rumors of settlement swirl. That's right, attorney and XRP supporter John Deaton is now outlining when he thinks the US SEC lawsuit against Ripple will arrive at its long-awaited conclusion. Also in today's show, Senator Warren leads new crypto crackdown, quoting her here, "Rogue nations, oligarchs, and drug lords are using crypto to launder billions, evade sanctions, and finance terrorism. My bipartisan bill puts common sense rules in place to help close crypto money laundering loopholes and protect our national security." Also in today's show, Bitcoin to explode fast after overcoming major resistance, says popular crypto analyst Mikhail Benepop. In fact, he says the king crypto is on the verge of surpassing and soaring to $30,000 and beyond, as high as $45,000. Also in today's show, FTX Bahamas co-CEO Ryan Salam blew the whistle on FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. He is the reason he is arrested right now. That's right. Court filings show that Ryan tipped off the Bahamian security regulator, telling them that FTX was sending customer funds to Alameda Research. Also in today's show, there was the FTX hearing where Kevin O'Leary reveals phone conversation with Sam Bankman-Fried after his accounts were wiped. That's right. In my response to him sharing this testimony, I put clearly he has his own agenda, which I would define as a money-hungry what, to put it politely. He went from anti-Bitcoin to pro-ish coins after $15 million FTX brand ambassador deal, which SBF stole back from him. Also, he is a tool for the establishment to help usher in unethical regulation. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this, plus so much more in today's show. Welcome everyone tuning in to today's live stream of Crypto News Alerts pod episode number 1134. Today is December 15th, 2022. And checking out the overall market, we can see Bitcoin and all the major cryptos are currently correcting in the red after the Fed rate hike. Unfortunately, we got Bitcoin now down 4% for the day, trading just above 17,300. We have Ether down 5%, trading just above $1,200, while Binance Coin, XRP, and all the major cryptos are correcting. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, let's get a refresh for the latest stats. You can see the market cap sitting at $875 billion, with $44 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the current Bitcoin dominance back on the decline at 38.2%, with the Ether dominance at 17.7%. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers in the past 24 hours, we have XDC Network leading the pack, up 4.5%, trading just above 2.4 cents, followed by Chili's up 3%, trading above 14 cents, followed by Satoshi Vision up 3%, trading at $47.22. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers for the past week, we have Ton leading the pack, up 30%, XDC up 16%, and we also have Lido DAO up 12.2%, as most of the major cryptos and alts are unfortunately correcting. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, you can see we're currently rated a 31 in fear. Yesterday was a 30, last week a 25, and last month a 22 in extreme fear. And isn't it wild? We have been stuck in fear, in extreme fear, for the bulk of this year for 2022. Do you think 2023 is likely to get any better for the crypto market, or do you feel we'll just continue to be in this bearish winter into the halving in 2024? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below, which leads us to our next story of the day. Let's break down some Bitcoin technical analysis and see what's happening. Bitcoin saw more volatility on Wednesday following a Federal Open Markets Committee meeting, during which the U.S. Central Bank agreed to raise its benchmark interest rate by 0.5%. The announcement, which aligned with market expectations, signals the Fed's first movement this year to slow the hawkish momentum of monetary policy. That's right. As the Federal Reserve unveiled its decision at 2 p.m. yesterday, Bitcoin immediately fell from 18,300 to 17,850 within 5 minutes. The asset reversed course shortly after, trading at 17,900. And as you can see, we're currently trading at $17,300. You can see this massive drop in the Bitcoin price action, and according to data from CoinGlass, the crypto market move contributed to 44 million in liquidations in the past 24 hours, most of which came from Bitcoin trades. The largest single liquidation was for an ETH/BUSD trade on Binance for $1.04 million. And going into the meeting, the market priced in a roughly 80% chance of a 50 basis point rise, with a 20% likelihood of a fifth 75-point rise, which is according to the CME's FedWatch tool. And with the prior ringing true, the central bank's target rate lies between 4.25% and 4.5%. The Fed has raised rates throughout 2022 in an effort to combat record high CPI inflation. That's right, they're combating inflation by printing more money, creating more inflation. Can't make this stuff up, folks. With November's inflation numbers showing signs that their efforts are working, market participants expect the hikes to slow heading into 2023. And numerous other central banks appear to be reeling in rates as well. We have the Bank of Canada announcing a 50 basis point hike back in October, and with the Bank of England following suit. In September, the UN has pressured the Federal Reserve to reverse course on its interest rate boost for months, citing risk of potential global recession. And indeed, many crypto industry companies have already been forced to enact mass layoffs this year, often in response to the macroeconomic concerns. So there you have it. Let me know if you're short-term bullish or bearish on the King crypto, and where do you feel we're likely to end for this month of December, wrapping up this year? Do you think Bitcoin is likely to be trading higher or lower than where we're currently at? Currently trading at 17,400. Let me know in the comments right down below. And now let's discuss, there was a rumor circulating all across crypto Twitter from the Cardano CEO, Charles Hoskinson, saying that on the 15th of December, which is literally today, there can be a ruling for the verdict for the Ripple Labs versus SEC case. Obviously, that was just a rumor, or that would have probably been priced in earlier on in the week, as nothing has been cemented as of yet. But let's break down the latest of what's going on with this lawsuit. Attorney and XRP supporter John Deaton is now outlining when he thinks the US SEC lawsuit against Ripple will arrive at its long-awaited conclusion. This has been ongoing for the past 2 years. On a new episode of Real Vision Crypto, Deaton was asked whether he sees the summary judgment for the case to happen by March 31st. Here's his reply. I don't see it happening before March 31st, but it is possible because the judge is very aware. She granted us amicus status. She knows that there are tens of thousands of hodlers, and there have been 17 amicus briefs filed in this case. So it is very possible, but you have millions of pages of documents that have been filed. She is going to go through it. I would say the end of March is the earliest. I fear it can go into April or early May for a decision as well. So there you have it directly from John Deaton. Deaton has played an active role in the ongoing lawsuit, filing an amicus brief on behalf of XRP supporters in opposition to the regulators' motion for a summary judgment. The SEC sued Ripple back in late 2020, 2 years ago, for allegedly selling XRP as an unregistered security back in the early days. And Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson recently said he has heard rumors that the case will be settled by today, which seem to be untrue. So now you know. And to watch this video that John Deaton did with Real Vision Crypto, check the show notes below the video in the description. And what are your thoughts surrounding this ongoing lawsuit with Ripple Labs versus SEC? Who do you think will win? Do you feel that XRP is likely to be deemed a security or a commodity or potentially something different, such as bridge currency by the SEC and regulators? Let me know your honest thoughts. And do you feel once the lawsuit is finally over, this will provide some level of clarity for crypto investors in the space, which could be a bullish thing? Or do you think regulators are likely to use this to attack other major cryptos, maybe such as Ethereum or Cardano Next, which Charles Hoskinson is scared about, which he has been talking about? But anyways, let's now dive into our next story of the day. Senator Warren released some regulation proposals, which are very ill-intended, I would say, to say the least. So let's discuss this, because this is absolutely insanity. Senator Elizabeth Warren is leading a new regulatory campaign for crypto, as she says entities are using the technology to fund illicit activities, including terrorism. Talk about FUD. The Massachusetts Democrat recently unveiled a bipartisan bill she says aims to clamp down on crypto money laundering and other illegal schemes. Quoting her here, rogue nations, oligarchs, and drug lords are using crypto to launder billions, evade sanctions, and finance terrorism. She must have confused Bitcoin with USD. Just saying. She continues, my bipartisan bill puts common sense rules in place to help close crypto money laundering loopholes and protect our national security. Now, the bill, which calls upon the U.S. Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network to issue guidelines for the digital asset industry, aims to establish regulations that aim to make it difficult for bad actors to use crypto assets as tools for crime. Well, you should have made it more difficult for Sam Bankman-Fried. Guess what? FTX was regulated. That didn't stop his money laundering scheme whatsoever. Now, one of the rules proposed by Warren includes forcing American citizens who partake in crypto transactions larger than $10,000 outside of the U.S. to report them to the relevant authorities. Quoting her again here, not later than 120 days after the date of enactment of this act, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network shall promulgate a rule that requires U.S. persons engaged in a transaction with a value greater than $10,000 in digital assets through one or more accounts outside of the U.S. to file a report. And the bill further asks FinCEN to classify unhosted crypto wallets, crypto miners, and node validators as money service businesses subject to regulations. As shared here, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network shall promulgate a rule classifying custodial and unhosted wallet providers, crypto miners, validators, or other nodes who may act to validate or secure third-party transactions, independent network participants, including maximal extracted value searchers and other validators with control over network protocols as money service businesses. So what are your thoughts surrounding this proposed bill by Senator Warren? I disagree with her. Obviously, this is nothing but absolute FUD and an attack on Bitcoin. Who I agree with in higher places is Cynthia Lummis. She is a senator in which I trust. I do not trust this senator whatsoever. Warren is pure evil and no different than Bankman-Fried, if you're to ask me, which is a scamster. So don't fall for it, folks. Stand strong. And with that being shared, now I have some bullish price predictions for the King Crypto coming from one of my favorite analysts, Mikhail Van de Popp. Let's break this one down, shall we? Popular crypto analyst is predicting Bitcoin will break through a major resistance and go on an explosive rally. In a new video strategy session, Van de Popp tells his 164,000 subs that Bitcoin's on the verge of soaring beyond $30,000. Send it. Let's freaking go. He says Bitcoin is likely to dip back into the 17.5 and 17.7 range after trading hands in the low 18,000s, which lo and behold, we're already back in that range. And from there, he says Bitcoin is likely to soar, breaking through a key resistance at 18,300 and continuing quickly upwards. As he shares here, we get a smackdown towards 17.5 to 17.7. That's the range where you want to start buying, and then we can see continuation. The moment we crack the crucial resistance, which is the area at 18,300, we are back into this range, and most likely we start overshooting quite fast. So then I am definitely looking at $21,000 continuation here, potentially even higher, which he outlines in this chart. And he says the King Crypto may climb towards $45,000 as market conditions are shaping up to look like they did in 2019 when the King Crypto went on a bull rally. Quoting him again here, we are getting into a stage that we most likely are going to get continuation on the risk-on assets. We get the bear market relief rally. We get a stage like we have been seeing in 2019, and that's why you can start building your portfolio and start accumulating even more. So if we get such a rally, let's say towards 35, $45,000, I think it'll be overshooting $30,000. That is actually going to give you an incredible opportunity. So there you have it. And to watch this video analysis he did, check the show notes below the video in the description and let me know if you agree or disagree with the crypto analyst that Bitcoin is likely to become bullish here shortly in 2023 versus a sustained crypto winner for the bulk of the year. And with that being shared, now let's dive into our next story of the day. And this is actually one of the biggest breaking stories I have to share with you, because guess who dropped the bomb on FTX and Bankman-Fried? It was one of their own employees. That's right. It wasn't BitBoy. It was FTX Bahamas co-CEO Ryan Salam. I don't know if it's Salam or Salami. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But he blew the whistle on FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. That's right. The high-ranking executive at FTX Bahamian entity tipped off the local regulators and of their potential fraud perpetrated by the crypto exchange just 2 days before the exchange was forced to close. According to their court records filed December 14th, Ryan Salam, the former co-CEO of FTX Digital Markets, told the Securities Commission of the Bahamas on November 9th that FTX was sending customer funds to its sister trading firm, Alameda Research. Salam said the funds were to cover financial losses of Alameda, and the transfer was not allowed or consented by their clients. Absolutely. If you read their terms and conditions, it was very clear. They do not supposed to steal your funds. He also says that Sam Bankman-Fried and only 3 people had access required to transfer clients to Alameda. And that was the former FTX CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, the FTX co-founder, Gary Wang, and FTX engineer, Nishad Singh. Now, the allegations spurred after executive order from Christina Rowley to contact the commissioner of the Royal Bahamas Police Force to request the investigation, as the information may constitute misappropriation, theft, fraud, or some other crimes, many other crimes, right? All in one. The next day, on November 10th, Sam Bankman-Fried froze those assets, suspended its registration in the country, and the Bahamian Support Court appointed a provisional liquidator attempting to preserve the company's assets. And my apologies, it wasn't Sam Bankman-Fried, but it was the SCB. And the records reveal the first known instance of an executive from FTX or Alameda assisting with the authorities. Salam is believed to be in Washington, D.C., according to the filings, and has not spoken publicly since the collapse of the exchange. In his last public tweet, which was November 7th, he replied LOL to Binance co-founder Yi He after He explained the reason that the exchange sold its FTX FTT holdings, which he obviously probably knew was inaccurate. Now, another former executive from the FTX affiliated company is also thought to have been assisting authorities in recent weeks. December 4th, speculation abounded after pictures purported to show Alameda CEO, the one and only Caroline Ellison, the queen of crypto, in a New York coffee shop a short walk away from the U.S. Attorney's Office, leading some to believe she may be cutting a deal with the authorities in the wake of the FTX collapse. That's right, you got rats ratting on each other. Bankman-Fried is the only person from FTX and Alameda to have been charged thus far, adding credence to the speculation that executives from both firms are assisting authorities. We'll also keep in mind that Bankman-Fried threw all of his employees and all of his executives under the bus, so it's only natural they throw him under the bus. He faces charges related to money laundering and political campaign finance violations. In fact, 8 charges I broke down in a previous episode, along with wire fraud and securities fraud. Bankman-Fried, Wang, Singh, and Ellison are reported to have operated a group chat on the encrypted messaging app Signal called Wire Fraud, used to send secret information about FTX and Alameda's operations. And of course, Bankman-Fried denied any knowledge or involvement in that group. How convenient, but how crazy is that? They literally had a secret chat, Bankman-Fried and these other higher ups, to discuss, and it was titled Wire Fraud. So I think if he was to drop a hip hop album, Bankman-Fried and Ellison, it should be called Wire Fraud. Just saying. So do you think Bankman-Fried is likely to escape this treachery, as he's already been arrested in Fox Hill, which is in the Bahamas, considered one of the worst prisons in the world? Let me know your thoughts, how you feel this is likely to roll out, and naturally I'll be keeping you posted. But that takes us to our next story of the day. Kevin O'Leary decided to testify, which really sparked my curiosity, like what in the world is he getting involved in? But makes you really wonder. So check this out. Shark Tank so-called superstar has revealed a phone call conversation he had with former FTX CEO after the crypto exchange lost its customer funds. Speaking under oath in front of the U.S. House of Representatives Financial Service Committee, the former FTX spokesperson, that's right, he was a former spokesperson. Here's how that went down. He received $15 million to be a brand ambassador for FTX. And guess what happened? SBF literally stole approximately $10 million out of that $15 million from him when the exchange collapsed. And this sent O'Leary furious. And that's why he had this conversation with Bankman-Fried. So I just wanted to give you a little backstory there so you know. But yeah, here's what O'Leary had to say. After my accounts were stripped of all of their assets and all of the accounting and trade information, I couldn't get answers from any of the executives in the firm. So I simply called Sam Bankman-Fried and said, "Where's the money, Sam?" He said he has been or he says he has refused access to the servers and he no longer knew. I said, okay, let's take a step back. This is a simple case in my mind of where did the money go? I said, Sam, walk me back 24 months. Tell me the use of proceeds of the assets of your company. Where did you spend it? And according to the venture capitalist, Bankman-Fried disclosed to him that Binance had purchased a 20% stake in FTX in the past, and he repurchased those shares from Binance for a price between $2 and $3 billion. Quoting him here, I didn't know this at the time, but at some point, CZ, who runs Binance, purchased 20% ownership in Sam Bankman-Fried's firm for seed stock, and then over time, then I asked him, what would compel you to spend $2 billion? And later in a subsequent conversation, about 24 hours later, he told me it could have been as much as $3 billion to buy back the shares from CZ. I asked him, what would compel you to do that? Why would you keep your assets on your balance sheet? Or why wouldn't you keep your assets on your balance sheet? And why would you offer this just to one shareholder? And according to O'Leary, Bankman-Fried said that CZ wouldn't give the necessary regulatory data from the relevant jurisdictions to FTX, forcing the firm to buy out Binance, leading to a huge hit in its balance sheet. Quoting him again here, apparently, according to Bankman-Fried, CZ would not comply with the regulators' request in these different jurisdictions to provide the data that would clear them for a license. He withheld it. The only option the management and Sam Bankman-Fried had was to buy him out at an extraordinary valuation that stripped the balance sheet of assets. Now, from O'Leary's perspective, the collapse of FTX was largely triggered by the actions of Binance in a potential act of industrial competition. Quoting him here, in my view, my personal opinion, these two behemoths that own the unregulated market together and grew these incredible businesses in terms of growth were at war with each other, and one put the other out of business intentionally. Now, maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's nothing wrong with the love and war, but Binance is a massive, unregulated global monopoly. Now, they put FTX out of business. So there you have it. You have O'Leary throwing CZ and Binance under the bus, trying to tell the regulators that, yo, it wasn't Bankman-Fried's fault. It was Binance's fault. Can you believe that? Insane, right? So I actually had a tweet regarding Kevin O'Leary once I saw this testimony, and I actually want to read it to you because here's my thoughts surrounding all of this. Clearly, Kevin O'Leary has his own agenda, which I would define as a money-hungry what? To put it politely, he went from anti-Bitcoin, facts. He was going on an anti-Bitcoin and anti-crypto campaign all across the media. This is before around the year of 2017. And then he becomes pro-ish coins after FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried give him a $15 million deal to become a brand ambassador, in which SBF ends up stealing back from him. He is also a tool for the establishment to help usher in unethical regulation. I mean, just like I pointed out, he's pointing the finger instead of at Sam, he's protecting his criminal colleague or constituent and instead pointing the finger at CZ because he is working with the regulators. He wants unethical regulation, right? They want to attack Binance. Regulators are obviously going to be going after Binance next as they have this global monopoly, as Kevin O'Leary points out. It is what it is. So I don't trust this dude as far as I can throw him. But what are your thoughts? And what do you feel his motivation is to be testifying against FTX in this debacle and throwing CZ and Binance under the bus? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. Now let's dive into my favorite segment of the live show, which is the live Q&A, where you can literally ask me anything. I want to say I super appreciate all the super chat contributions. I got several of them today. So much love and respect to everyone contributing. CoinFather put, with e-currency based on cryptographic proof without the need to trust a third-party middleman, money can be secure and transactions effortless, quoting the late great Satoshi. Well, actually, that's Charlie Shrem from his book, Bitcoin is Cash with Wings. I'll have to read that one. So thanks for the epic quote and thank you for the contribution. I greatly appreciate that. Also, massive shout out to Digital Dankness. He's been throwing me contributions every day, sent me a couple today, and literally every single day during this ongoing bear market, I've been getting more contributions. So I just want to say I greatly appreciate your level of support. You are awesome. And BitBud, it's good to see you, family. Always a pleasure. Matthew C., welcome, fam. Yeah, man. BitBud says, stuck in my short position for now until I get back up to even. Then I will begin swing trading and not hodl shorts. Okay. Dankness says, I have all the J Bravo stuff. He is good. I have to take a look into the other, referring to Garrett Soloway, another crypto analyst. Coin Father, always a pleasure, fam. Dankness says he is ahead of his times, but the point he is making is always spot on. So yes, I love his simple style of reading the charts. Good stuff. Even if you only use the Relative Strength Index, the RSI, and MACD, you can get close enough to make money on most swing trades and shorts. Coin Father says, Jay, bravo, awesome. My maintenance officer came in when I was playing his video yesterday, and he was laughing and said, I'm going to have to check his videos out. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, man. That means a lot. I orange pilled him a few months back. That's what's up. Keep spreading the word of Satoshi and orange pill as many people as possible. Coin Father says, I dig Jay Bravo, Mark Moss, James IA, and Garrett Soloway for technical analysis info. Good stuff. If there is a technical analyst you really enjoy, let me know the names if there's someone outside of that, so I can check them out myself. Coin Father says, I smashed the like button 99 times, but I still can't see the numbers go up. Ha ha ha. Yeah, man, I appreciate the support. The greatest compliment you can do to help support the channel is to smash like that button as if it's Sam Bankman-Fried himself. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to do so, you got to be signed in. I know a lot of people watch the show and they're just too lazy to sign into their account. But to participate and to like and subscribe, obviously, you got to be signed in. So I encourage everyone to sign in if you're not already and smash that like button. Appreciate that. Bitcoin down 1,100 from yesterday's show. That's right, BitBud. Digital Dankness says it was a throwover bear market rally, but it's back to heading lower thanks to the manipulation from the Fed. Right? BitBud says, where's Dan Drummond? I saw he was talking smack about people being on the sidelines, that the red skidgy lines, whatever you're talking about. Hilarious. Yeah, man. Coinfather says, so any feel that the Fed will get the inflation to 2.5% next year? Yeah, good luck with that one. Maybe if they just keep manipulating the numbers, they can get the inflation down to whatever they want to perceive it to be at. Coinfather says Kathy Wood seems to think so, and I feel we will at least get to 3.5%, but there is going to be a bad economy in quarter 2 or early quarter 3. I think 2023 is likely to continue in its bearish winter. I think we don't get out of this winter until maybe the end of 2023, definitely by 2024, as it's the year of the halving. I expect or anticipate Bitcoin to reclaim its all-time high sometime 2024. Then I think in 2025, which is the year preceding the halving, which is the typical year, the halving of the halving, when the market goes parabolic, reaching that all-time high, just like we witnessed in 2021. It was the year after the 2020 halving. We hit that $69,000 all-time high. That's what I would be anticipating. However, I'm also open to any black swans or white swans, expecting the unexpected at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Strap into your seats. It's going to be very exciting, to say the least. BitBus says 12,000 is incoming. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm anticipating a drop between 12 and 14,000 myself. So thank you for sharing. 2for1 says Binance is next. I wouldn't be surprised if they go after Binance, especially with that stunt that O'Leary pulled. It makes, just makes you wonder. I'm sure he's been talking with regulators and they're like, yo, let's set up a plot to go after Binance. Let's make it very clear. We got to go after Binance and CZ. It would be a massive shakedown. I mean, if the SEC can shake down Ripple Labs for hundreds of millions of dollars, why wouldn't they shake down Binance for billions of dollars and continue with their ill will regulation? That's just my 2 Satoshis. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Coinfather says, yeah, BitBud, I think the rockets exploded and then we crashed back down in the ocean and we're going to sink further into the ocean to $12,000. Matthew says, I heard they will have to print $1 trillion just to not default next year because of the interest on the current national debt with the interest rates. Wild to think about that. Another $1 trillion in fiat crap. Coinfather says Congress couldn't afford to get military 6.5% pay hike and just got approved for 4.6%. BitBus says Trump has a big announcement today. Maybe he becomes Speaker of the House. 2for1 says all my liquidity is in shorts. Dankness says I agree, but they are doing it with high interest rates, so your money is going to cost more. Wow. Yeah, Coinfather says it boggles my mind. Some of these famous people that are educated in finance and running businesses don't buy Bitcoin already. Senator Charlatan, I agree 100% with you on that one. Definitely a very sinister proposal, to say the least, that we covered here today. Dankness says this is the narrative to give them the excuses, the regulator, or even to ban crypto and to push CBDCs. I'm glad you brought that up because that agenda couldn't be any more clear. They obviously want to usher in CBDCs, and this is a direct attack on Bitcoin. I also look like broad perspective, like bigger picture. The SEC, Gensler doing their shady business dealings with Bankman-Fried, the people behind FTX and all of that. I feel this was a obviously orchestrated plan. And I feel the bigger picture, this is their way to attack Bitcoin. Because guess what? We knew for a fact Bankman-Fried didn't like Bitcoin. He was selling fake Bitcoin, wrap Bitcoin, taking your real Bitcoin. And then he was actually shorting your Bitcoin by dumping it onto the market. And there are speculators and analysts who believe that if Bankman-Fried wasn't dumping vast amounts of Bitcoin back in 2021 at the height of the, when Bitcoin, I think it was November when we hit that $69,000 all-time high, we could have potentially climbed to $70,000, $80,000. But it ended the rally short. Unfortunately, because he was basically dumping all his Bitcoin onto the open market. And then again this year, obviously with the debacle and what he was doing, maybe if we didn't have this bad actor in the space and the unethical regulators never allowed him to do what he did, which is embezzle billions of dollars, and with all the collusion, we wouldn't even be sub $20,000 this year. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, we are where we are. So I look at this as a blessing in disguise to get the bad actors out of the industry and to build a stronger, legitimate bull market without the bad actors that can take us to infinity and beyond. So I'm optimistic for the long haul. I feel sometimes this type of stuff is necessary. It's kind of like Bitcoin cleaning itself, right? Because there's just too many scams in the industry. And if they were not to be exposed, we would just be built on a house of cards. So maybe better now than later, if you feel me. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. Nathan, good to see you too, buddy. Always good to see most of the crew here. Absolutely. Did Bitcoin dip to 17,500 yet? Yeah, we absolutely did. How about 50,000, says Bitbud, LOL. Tough Cookie, good to see you. Gray says, yeah, it's definitely more likely to go closer to 10,000 than to rise at all. I agree. Trini, good to see you. 2for1 says, when you get excited about prolonged crypto bear markets. Shh, 100. Yeah, Maxi mood is increasing, says Tough Cookie. Matthew says the CFTC again, that ETH is a commodity. That's right. I covered that in yesterday's episode. Bitcoin is king, but it is not unwise to put small allocation into high quality alts. Might hit big in the crypto casino, says Matthew C. Telengard, welcome, says O'Leary was one of the more supportive people being interviewed yesterday. Yeah, man, wild. Tough Cookie says 30% in alt split between ETH, Matic, and Link. 2for1 says, I have 3 publicly traded exchanges. For every one I criticized, I don't blame you there. Why put all your eggs in one basket if you are an active trader, right? And don't forget to self-custody your assets. Do not keep them on the exchanges. And I've been told by many high-level folks as well to not keep any crypto on Binance right now. That could be FUD. But at the end of the day, trust nobody, verify everything, and make sure you put your crypto in self-storage. If you're not going to, or cold storage, if you're not going to self-custody now, you probably never will, and eventually your crypto will be stolen from you. That's my prediction. If you don't self-custody, it's just a matter of time before your crypto is stolen from you. Who steals it? That's the million-dollar question. Who knows? But the fact is it will eventually get stolen from you if you don't protect it. So protect your crypto at all costs. Chuck Strickland says FTX was the Trojan horse for sure. Absolutely. FTX was a direct attack on Bitcoin. I am telling you. That was why it was there. Also to launder billions of dollars and do all their shady dealings. But I think, again, bigger picture, this was a direct attack on Bitcoin, and the regulators know it. That's why they allowed it. Coinfather says TC, tough cookie, we'll get through this bear market. It literally sucks seeing red, but have long-term horizon for at least 2 to 3 years. That's right. All Bitcoin hodlers with a long-time horizon, 4 years or longer, are in profit. You feel me, right? If you got started, or I should say, we might have to stretch that to 5 years, because in 2017, which was, oh my God, was that like 4 years ago, Bitcoin was $20,000. So you may have bought it at that top, and we could be potentially lower. But let's stretch that long-term horizon 5 or 6 years. Every Bitcoin hodler is in profit. So there you have it. Don't be safe and trust anyone. Yeah, you can't trust anyone at the end of the day. Go make pupusas with Max and chill. Says BitBud, Booba Fru, good to see you. Can Bitcoin have a $10,000 candle in a day? Yeah, in fact, I believe we've already witnessed a $10,000 candle in a day. I don't know. I think that was to the downside. Unfortunately, this year, we dropped from like 50 to 40 or from 40 to 30 and then eventually 30 to 20. But I do recall at one point having a massive $10,000 candle. Can someone confirm that? And yes, it can absolutely go to the upside as well. Just as quick as we drop down to where we're at, we can rise back up, but the right macroeconomic events need to take place, right? It's not just going to happen out of nowhere, but with the right things happening, I mean, anything is possible, right? Only a matter of time. There will be a day eventually where Bitcoin has a $100,000 candle. Just a matter of time. Realistically, think about that. When Bitcoin's trading in the millions, it's going to get wild. You think you see volatility now. It's wild. Yeah, man. In JV, we trust his dankness. I appreciate that, man. And once again, I just appreciate everyone's level of support. You guys are amazing, to say the least. With that being shared, now for the big finish. Here's a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis. We discussed why Bitcoin fell below $18,000 after the Federal Reserve announced a 50 BPS rate hike. And we also discussed that there is no settlement between Ripple Labs and the SEC, as rumors were circulating across crypto Twitter, as the main lawyer on the case, John Deaton, he says we're likely not to see anything official as far as a conclusion until at least the end of March, potentially April or May. Also in today's show, we discussed Senator Warren's horrible crypto regulation crackdown, as we called out. You know what I mean? Which we want no part of. Also in today's show, we discussed Bitcoin to explode fast after overcoming major resistance, as crypto analyst Mikhail Van Pop predicting a $30,000 to $40,000 Bitcoin price action. Also in today's show, we discuss breaking news. FTX Bahamas co-CEO Ryan Salam blew the whistle on FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. So shout out to the co-CEO. Also in today's show, we discuss Mr. Kevin O'Leary revealing a secret private conversation with Sam Bankman-Fried after his accounts were wiped. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below.